Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be my March wrap-up. So for the month of March, I actually had a great reading month. I think it's my best reading month ever since I started my booktube channel. I read a total of 6 books, guys, and I still can't fathom at how I read that much, especially since during the month of February I kind of went through a book slump and I only read 2 books. Then to jump from 2 books to 6 books is just fantastic. So here it is, my March wrap-up. Alright, so the first book that I read during the month of March was Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is the Biblio Squad's book pick of the month for the month of February, and I read this during the first week of March, and I did give this book 3.5 stars out of 5. I'll leave the live show link down below for you guys to check it out if you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on this book. But I really enjoyed this book. This book was in one of my most highly anticipated books of 2017's list. I do have to say I was a bit disappointed. It obviously did not live up to my expectations. This book just kind of like, I expected more out of it, especially because it was supposed to be more whimsical and there's supposed to be more magic to it, and I just felt like it fell short of those aspects. But I still really enjoyed this book, and it definitely deserved at least 3.5 stars, which I gave. Alright, and then the next book that I read during the month of March was Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Belleza. This was the Biblio Squad's book pick of the month for the month of March, and we just had our live show this past Saturday. I'll leave the link down below for you guys to check it out if you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on this book. The live show was actually a lot of fun and we had so many laughs, so check it out if you like. But I did really enjoy this book. I gave it 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. There were some inconsistencies, especially regarding the plot line. I felt there was a lack of world building. I wish the author could have gone more in depth with the world building, but she didn't, and that's okay. I still enjoyed the book. It was fast paced, it was action packed, and I really enjoyed some of the characters in this book. I cannot wait for the next book next year. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed myself reading this book. It was a sci-fi book set in outer space, and I just loved that. Alright, and then the next book that I read during the month of March was Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. I actually had the privilege and honor of meeting this author. She was over at Largo, Florida, and me and Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophile, we drove all the way there to see her, and she signed my book as well as another book, the Between Shades of Grey, that I have, and it just says, "For Kathleen, Courage." And this book is set in World War II. It is set during the time of the war when the Germans were losing, and so they announced a huge evacuation for the German citizens because the Russians were closing in. And so this is set in the perspectives of several people who are fleeing, trying to get away from the Russians that are closing in, and I absolutely loved this book. I read this book at the same time that I was listening to the audiobook, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the audiobook was done so well because we have several different perspectives on this book, so the audiobook had several actors. I felt like it made the book a lot more immersive, and I was able to connect more with the characters by listening to the story as well as reading at the same time. I just really enjoyed this book, and I recommend to everyone. It was just so beautifully written. And then the next book that I read during the month of March was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. My goodness, I've had this book for so long, and it is about time that I finally picked up this first book. I loved it. In case you don't know what this book is about, because it is so hyped on BookTube, it is a Cinderella retelling, but Cinderella is a cyborg, so it does have some sci-fi elements, and I loved it. It was so fun. I loved Cinder. I really connected with Cinder. I love also Prince Kai, who was supposed to be the next emperor, and I love that this book is set in Beijing because it's so different from the settings that we normally get in YA. I just thought it was so fun, and it was so well done for a sci-fi Cinderella retelling. I just, like, Marissa Meyer is becoming one of my favorite authors of all time because she is so talented, and I love her retelling, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I need to pick up the next book, Scarlet, because I can't. This book left me on a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Absolutely amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, of course, on Goodreads. Alright, and then the next book that I read during the month of March was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. How many times have I said on my channel that I need to read this book? I have been saying it for so long, and I can finally say that I've read it. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars out of 5, and the reason why I knocked half a star is because Clary, I still don't know how I feel about her. Sometimes I really loved her, other times she annoyed the heck out of me, and I still don't know how I feel about Jace, but overall the story was fantastic. I really loved it. It was so interesting. Like, the world of Shadowhunters is so interesting. I think Cassandra Clare created such a unique world, and I really enjoyed it. But I finally read this book, guys. Are you guys proud of me? Because I'm proud of me. And I never have to put this book on my TBR videos ever again. I'm so freaking happy. And finally, the last book that I read during the month of March was To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This book was just absolutely gorgeous. I actually ended up listening to the audiobook for this book instead of actually reading, and I enjoyed that way more. I really enjoyed the voice actor for this book because it was just so well done, and she did like the southern accent, which I really enjoyed. I just loved the character of Scout, who was Jean Louise, just like the dynamic of this innocent child growing up during this time era, and her father, who's a lawyer, who's defending an African-American man who's accused of doing something very bad to a white woman. And it was just so beautiful. I really love Scout's perspective, and I love her voice and her personality. She's just someone who's so innocent. I don't know how to explain myself. I don't know how to convey like how powerful this book was and the beautiful message behind it. Like I said, I really enjoyed Scout and her story and her voice in this book. I of course gave this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So there you go, guys. That is my March wrap up. I am so proud of myself for having read 6 books, especially after going through a reading slump during the month of February. Let me know down in the comments below, how did you guys do during the month of March with your reading? Did you guys end up reading some great books? Because I feel like I ended up reading some amazing books. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!